Supreme Court nominee. We see how important it is. Look at the travel ban litigation that's going on. Democrats say that they may filibuster President Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court. A new CNN poll finds most Americans want to see President Trump's pick, federal judge Neil Gorsuch, get confirmed. One Democratic senator says that Supreme Court seat was stolen and Democrats should try to block Gorsuch. That senator is Democrat Jeff Merkley of Oregon, joins us now.
Cool.
Senator, pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
Stolen, make the case.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the first time in our history that a Senate majority has refused to act on a nominee from the president for the Supreme Court. Our responsibility under the Constitution is advice and consent. It means to vet and vote on whether or not an individual nominee is a fit character.
But at the end of the term, it was so late, we had an election coming. Why do it then when we have a whole new administration coming in? That's their rationale. Well,
it wasn't so late. It's January of last year, so we're talking of basically a full year has passed. So there was plenty of time to hold the vetting and voting process.
We're actually coming up on the anniversary of Justice Scalia's death, marking 1 year.
Yes, absolutely. So the argument of Mitch McConnell was simply, look, we don't like this president and we don't want to even hold a conversation about his nominee. And the reason why is they are concerned that the nominee might result in the court voting down the dark money that is corrupting our campaigns. And so
Citizens United, you're talking
Citizens United. So therefore, take this seat and refuse to act and pass it to the next administration, hoping it would be a Republican administration. It's a form of packing the court.
But that's something that parties tried to do. They had leverage that they were able to use to forestall debate. They did it. Now it's your turn to figure out what you do. You guys were very critical of them, but now it seems that you want to play a similar game.
No, it's not similar. And you can really think of what Mitch McConnell did. It was a nuclear option. The theft of a Supreme Court seat has never been done before. Never before has a majority refused to hold a conversation and a vote. And so therefore, we have an illegitimate status, really, for this seat. And you take that, and then you throw in, really, the new nominee, who is of the far extreme right, and you have a formulation.
Why do you say that? When you look at his opinions, do you really believe that he is that different in terms of how he dealt with what came before him?
Yes. For example, he doesn't believe that the LGBT community should be able to use the courts to seek redress for discrimination. He doesn't like the idea that citizens who are victims can join in a class action lawsuit to rectify the predatory action that some companies taking. He thinks it's a burden on the company. It's a whole series of issues that will be fully vetted, and that's what will be different. The Democrats will hold the committee hearing. They will hold a committee vote. The issue will go to the floor, and that's the process that should have happened with Merrick Garland. But it didn't happen.
So you being falsely characterized as someone who wants to stall this vote?
Well, the accurate thing would be to say I want to insist on the same standard that has applied throughout our history. That is a supermajority, and it's a majority now of 60 votes. And it's the same thing you're going to hear from Bernie Sanders, same thing you're going to hear from
set the precedent for blowing that up. And at that time, you'll remember, Mitch McConnell said they're going to regret that they did this when the power changed.
So actually, he didn't set that precedent because deliberately, when we changed that rule, we left the supermajority for the Supreme Court under the belief this is such a key institution.
But he set the precedent for blowing up the filibuster.
Well, on a different level. That is, folks who are below the Supreme Court, because advice and consent was being used to completely eviscerate the administration.
Do you think they'll need the nuclear option, or do you think that there's a chance that Gorsuch gets 60 votes?
I think my crystal ball is, of course, they're all cloudy, but I think he'll have great difficulty getting 60 votes to close debate. Had he put Merrick Garland back in, he could have healed this historic, really, crime against the Constitution. But he didn't, and he didn't appoint anyone even like Merrick Garland, and therefore what he's doing is completing the theft that was begun a year ago.